want to start, man? You want to start with this French Montana and Benny and Jadakiss song?
That that seems like a nice, soft, comfortable opening for all. Yes, yes.
You know what? I cheated a little bit because initially, I guess to let the audience know, we didn't know that French Montana dropped the full length. So by the time that we did figure that out, it was too late to really, go through all that and review it and listen. But I listened to a lot of the project actually,
Me
and
too.
I like, I don't know, man. French Montana is one of those artists that I think because of the way he delivers it and his production choice, I enjoy listening to his music. Is he the dopest? Nah, you know what I mean. But I enjoy the way he puts together material.
I don't
Even
echo
that
those sentiments.
line, even that line that he said where it's like, um, all the girls on everybody on E like they managed by Chris Jenner or something like that. I don't know, however he put it
No, 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 no,
together.
no. Like I think he was saying something everybody like not eating, like Chris Jenner or something like that. I remember
No,
that
he
part.
said on E.
On E, I thought okay, I thought he was like
Yeah.
okay. Either way,
I thought it was dope. I mean, I don't know, man. He makes me
no, he
laugh.
had some bars on there. I'm not the fan that you are. I respect him. I respect what he does.
I think he would have an interesting verses, honestly, with all the features that he's on and all
Well,
the bangers that he's provided.
he might be more deserving than the two people that are about to go up. If you really want to be honest,
You remember when he tried to challenge Kendrick Lamar for a versus?
that wasn't a good idea. That was
That was
silly.
hilarious. But what I think where he was going with it was the
I don't know
fact
where he
that
was going. He should
where
start
he
going.
was going was the fact that Kendrick doesn't make radio records and he does. That's
No, I
where they
get
were
where he was
going.
going. He still shouldn't go there. You know, like other artists can go there with Kendrick. He's not one of them.
Well, I mean, Hot 97 and Ebro and those guys, they were entertaining it and they kept score and all that stuff. I don't know if they were baiting Kendrick or what, but yeah, I thought that was wild. I mean, speaking of people just saying crazy shit in reference to verses, Jim Jones said that he could beat Rakim in the verses, and it's like, come on, man, stop that. That's just disrespect.
So I actually tell you what, it's going to be part of our conversation today because I know how people feel about Lupe and how we feel about Lupe, and we were going to have some all-time talk, and of course, when we're having some all-time lyrical talk, I think for me and for you, the first person that comes to mind is Rakim. So I actually listened to Follow the Leader and Let the Rhythm Hit Him today, and I don't mean the songs, I mean both of the albums, and Jim Jones doesn't stand a chance in hell against Rakim, even on Rakim's bad day. Rakim could play one of those albums.
Listen, man, that's not even a conversation. Like I said, like it's
Very problematic.
literally, and like I said, I like Jim Jones and I like some of his songs, but it's literally like B.J. Armstrong saying, "Look, man, I could beat Michael Jordan. Cut it
Like
out."
yeah, like if Mike like broke his ankle and like showed up to practice with the flu, like he would beat
It
him
still
there.
wouldn't happen.
Might be a draw.
It still wouldn't happen. Like
No, I
there's
get
no.
what you're saying.
So, all right, so Jim Jones, what are you gonna do when Paid in Full gets played, or what are you gonna do when Eric B. is President gets played, or what are you gonna do when My Melody gets played, or I mean, this ain't even. I don't even know why I'm even entertaining it on this show. But anyway, what was the name of the record with because I'm sitting here listening to the album now,
Oh,
Bricks and
Bricks
Bags.
and Bags, yeah.
Yeah, what you
Yeah.
think about the song?
My first note is you got to feed these streets.
Mm-hmm.
So he did that.
Benny
He
sounded
actually sounds
good.
really good on here. I mean, when I heard like he was on the track with Benny and Jada, I'm like, okay, lyrically out of your weight class, but I thought he held his own really, really well. In between them too, because he had Benny started off and Kiss sewed it up. Said Harry Fraud is doing his thing right now. I was saying that because I listened to some of the other joints too, like you did. I haven't listened to the whole project yet, but I've heard about half of it now. It's pretty dope.
Somebody said Mr. French Montana's album is better than Mr. Morale. Y'all really don't like Mr. Morale like that, huh? Are we really gonna do that, guys?
Mm-mm-mm. Here's my thoughts though. I was like, man, I said that's Jadakiss. He's never like. When do you ever hear him off?
Jadakiss' consistency. I I don't even know where to put it.
Okay, so do you remember a conversation that we had before we even had this following like this, where I asked you if you felt like Benny had the better verse than Kiss on Gods Don't Bleed, and you were like, yeah, and I was like, yeah, but no. I said, because how many times in his career has Kiss shown up with that quality of verse? Now that was in 2020 that we had that conversation. That song got made, I believe, late 2018 or 2019.
Right.
Now that was Benny fresh off of either making plugs or in the process of making plugs and Blind Tails out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he's surging, and that's lyrically, for most people, the best that he's ever sounded. And so lyrically at the best he ever sounded at that point, Kiss was still right there with him, okay? Here we are 3 years later, same record. You hear who Kiss is now? You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what, because Benny's not there with Kiss on this record, but then, like, and it's not to take a shot at Benny, because that's not what it is, but it's like, that's who Kiss is. It's like, no, you got to show up all the time, every time if he's on a record, because he will, he can. It's his niche, it's his specialty.
I don't think people understand how difficult it is to remain that consistent over this span of time. And we can listen to all of the greats and understand how difficult that is. I would say Black Thought is an example of that, but I don't think Black Thought does the amount of verse work that Jada does, and doesn't do it over a variety of material like that either.
Thought is more selective about, where he disperses his shit. And it's not like he doesn't disperse, because Thought does hand out verses semi-regularly and yearly, much like Kiss. But man, Kiss will put in work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
You'll hear Kiss over here, over there. You hear a Locks joint over here. Kiss album coming out, mixtape.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, you hear all about the Benjamins play randomly on the radio. You'd be like, okay, yeah. Be like, okay.
Yeah. He's on an Usher record or whatever. He'll do that. He'll jump on R&B records.
Look, you'll hear Maya's original version of Best of Me come on or something. You'd be like, oh yeah. Be like, oh yeah, man, this dude everywhere.
I mean, the fact that he's got 2 different verses that he's done, and he could do another one, just tells you everything you need to know about just where he's everywhere.
He hasn't even gotten to some of his most killer stuff, like catalog wise. Like he hasn't.
He's impressive, man. And so, whenever he's on a record, it's like almost like it's a given. We don't even talk about Black Illuminati like that because we just expect that from him,
That's what he does. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He does that.
But on the flip side of things, though, he does improve whoever he's on a record with, because they know that Jadakiss is on here.
That's what I mean. And so it's not like Benny sounds bad on here. It's not like Montana sounds bad on here. It's more of a testament to who Kiss really is. That's what I'm saying. When he says he's like the king of these 16 bars, like, no, that's legit.
He is.
You call somebody for 16 bars, nobody's done it at this high of like a lyrically respectable level. It's not like these bars that he gives out are like corny, or that the streets or hip hop heads don't respect. They're respectable high level bars. They're not corny. He's not like saying the same words over and over again over a 4-bar stanza either. You know what I mean?
It's very impressive. That's why when his birthday came up and we had to track down his best verse or best songs, it's nearly impossible.
We need more time than that. We need more time than that.
Honestly, man, Jadakiss could have a top 20 verses countdown on his own.
Yeah. I mean, I felt that way about him prior to 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think Benny had the better verse on this one?
No, Kiss has the better verse on here. That's what I'm saying about how hard it is to do what he does. Because, Benny had the better verse 3 years ago, but that's when Benny was peaking. This is a marathon, And
I think Benny sounded good on here.
No. Benny sounded good on there. I'm not saying he's not right there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I would give Kiss the upper hand on this one, and that speaks to who Kiss is. And I mean, this is year number what? Because I started hearing him on mixtapes in early '97.
Yeah.
Late '96.
this would be my question, right? And I don't think this is too out of bounds for like the conversation since we're talking French Montana, and he put Benny and Jada on the same record. Where is New York hip hop right now? Like, cause I think the New York hip hop has kind of been a lot of different things over the past 5 to even 10 years.
Are you saying New York hip hop, as in like Griselda and like that whole upstate thing included?
Well, let's say New York City because
I was
clearly
about to say, right.
Griselda has influenced New York City. We know what Buffalo is. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
mean, it's just tri-state because it's like it's not even like necessarily like a Buffalo thing because I don't even like up there is different. It's like Buffalo's right there, Rochester's right there.
hmm
You right close to Niagara Falls, Canada. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
there's a lot right there, and so like that area has appeared to kind of pop up. It's kind of very Memphis like. You know what I'm saying? Like
hmm
they got their own like it's connected to the South, but it's rooted in Southern culture, but it's succinctly its own and got something else going on that's like very like attractive and gravitational, like 3-6. You know what I'm saying?
Because I mean, you got the mayor of New York, right? With the whole drill thing that he got going on as far as trying to ban drill music. And it was interesting, even with that whole thing with the drill music, he's sitting there talking to Mano and guys like, and it's like, well, they don't really make that. But I guess the younger people in New York hip hop right now are on some Fabio Foreign, possibly. Like, I don't know. I guess because the underground hip hop in New York looks different than what the mainstream looks like. And then you got, wild cards out there like a Cardi B and whatever crew she's, what I'm saying, representing. And then all of this is New York.
I get what you're saying. I really had an honest thought. I was like, this is one of those things why we're gonna have to like get some correspondence because it's like I don't know how accurately to assess that situation because I'm not in the streets of New York. You feel what I'm
Well, let me
saying?
see for the people who are in New York in our chat. Homeboy Blaze says Rock Marciano's been holding it down for the New York underground.
Right. Mike
Indie
has been
hip hop
echoing those
is,
sentiments for a long time.
yeah,
He's actually the start of this new era underground king thing that's going on with New York and specifically upstate with Griselda.
I like what Free had to say. It says New York hip hop is mostly independent acts and legacy acts. Then Buffalo is in the middle of both. I like
Hmm.
the term legacy acts. We don't really hear that enough, and I think that's a really
Yeah.
dope term. Where you got guys like Method Man that are putting out dope material, but because they're Method Man, and because we remember Method Man for being from a certain era and the material he made then, it's like we don't really count him in some of these discussions. Same thing with KRS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked you if KRS-One could be like in the MCA discussion, and you were like, no, no, like it's like no, dude, like he doesn't count at this point. He's somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, and I know we just got a thumbs down for that, not on the negative level. It's almost
Yeah,
like,
not
you want
in a
to,
negative way. It's almost like in a respectable way. It's like, well, I don't want to classify him with these other guys that are clearly in their prime or on the tail ends of their prime sparring still, when he's just been doing this so much longer than everybody else who he's still in the stratosphere of lyrically. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
almost like, no, no, no. It's like, Scarface has an album called Emeritus. And Emeritus is like that highest honor of like teaching and professional status. And so like KRS-One is like emeritus status. It's like he's got like a purple sash of lyricism when he shows up. He don't need to be in no conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. It's all for the love at this point. And not to say that
Right.
people who are in the conversations are not doing it for the love. It's just that somebody like KRS has literally zero to prove.
Zero.
Nothing to prove at all.
What can you?
You're cemented and your legacy cemented. Okay. We got a super chat here. Antonio says, hold on, let's see. Yeah, Antonio says, did y'all hear the Ray and Ghost song on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game? I heard Ghostface spitting while he was playing, and I lost it. While I was playing, and I lost it. Yeah, that shit is hard. Did you hear that, Coop?
No.
Yeah, check that out once the show is over, man. It's so much music out there, man. It
Ray and
really
Ghost got a
is.
track on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What's it called? Is it like a robbery track?
Forgot what it was called, but I actually heard it on Twitter. Of all things, I saw it pop up on my timeline and heard Ghost spitting, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta check this out."
Back and forth? Some back and forth?
No, I went back and forth. No, a lot of NYC's strongest lyricists are in the battle rap scene. That's interesting too. Does the battle rap scene take away from that?
Yeah, because because what we get down in Atlanta is we hear a lot of the drill talk, and of course we're ahead, so we see what's going on with Griselda and Stove and Che Noir, and how Griselda is spun off in the drum work, and Benny has his affiliates, and they even got some ties down here.
Well, I'm gonna ask the New York people though. Does New York radio? And y'all might not even listen to New York radio. This ain't like the early 2000s. Does New York radio even support New York rappers anymore? Because it's been a minute since they did that, and I know when they start, playing Lil Jon and all that stuff heavy around like '05, it's like it never went back. That's what they blame 50 Cent for. And I disagree with that. I think 50 was making some real New York shit.
I do too, actually.
Yeah. I Run New York was crazy.
I thought his records were more in vein with the New York sound, just like Dipset's was. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
That was still East Coast hip hop to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Even when I hear "Get Rich or Die Trying," it's like I know Dre did those beats, but it's like no, that's still like some East Coast gangster talk. And when he is talking West Coast gangster talk, he's like letting you know that he's doing it on "Get Rich or Die Trying" too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like on the intro, like on "What Up Blood, What Up Gangster."